Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Ajit. So in this video we are gonna do a lots of stuffs, okay? Like we will get to know about Redux and Redux Persist, and we will then set up the Redux Persist and middleware to handle the API requests and design onboarding screen, and we will design the onboarding screen and there we will apply the Redux, okay? There we will apply Redux because on the first time we want to load the onboarding screen, okay? When user first install the application, then the onboarding screen will be displayed, then we will it turn off, okay, after updating the state value. So let's see what Redux is. Okay, you can see this image. So there is a store in Redux. Three things are involved. One is action, another is reducer, and then store. Okay, in store all the data of our application is stored. Okay, so Redux will become easy when we will start our development. Okay, you need not to be worried. Okay, we will do that. So in the store all the data of our application will be stored, like you can see here. For the products, okay, products and cat, there two data are stored. These are the initial value like id1 and quantity 2. These are the initial storage value of cat. Okay, so let's see on a flow. Okay, let's think that this is our application, and in our application we dispatched a action that is to add to cart. Okay, let's see, this is the in the product list page we clicked add to cart. Okay, then the action having parameter, one is type, okay, that is to add to cart, that is a constant, we will do that, and another is payload like the id of product and quantity. Then after dispatching the action, it will go to the reducer. Action will send the data to the reducer. Then the reducer will attach this data with the state, with our state. Okay, let's think you are in the product list page and you hit add to cart in a product, and when you are going to the cart screen, you can see there the cart products, okay, that you have added. Okay, that is happening because when you are pressing the add to cart button, it is dispatching the action. Then the reducer will attach to the cart state, this one. Okay, this is a array. After reducer doing his work, then it will be goes to the store. Okay, that I told, like when one product is going here and the reducer then store the data. Okay, this is the flow. Let's think we are accessing the cat data from the cat page and anywhere else. Okay, means we are accessing the cat data in two or more screens. In that places also the data will be updated automatically, we don't need to fetch. Okay, the data are already stored in a global store. Okay, then here we can access directly to our application in any screens. Okay, so this is the story behind the Redux. It will become easy when we will start developing. And the another thing is Redux Persist. Okay, so Redux Persist is nothing but when, let's think about a case where after login of the user, when we close the app and again starting the application, then it should be logged in. Okay, so Redux Persist will hold the data to the store. Okay, it will use behind the async storage of React Native, and when we will again launch our application, then it will match to the user, is it present here? If present, then it will be directly open to our dashboard with the authentication. Okay, Redux Persist will hold the data like async storage in React Native, and you can think about the web, there we used local storage. Okay, so we talked a lot, so let's start developing. So first we will configure the Redux things. We will add index reducer and one middleware for the API calls. It will handle the asynchronous calls and automatically send the data back, and we will generate one store, then some constants. Okay, so let's start doing that. Now let's open our VS Code, and there our application should be opened. Okay, so now we will create some file to set up the Redux. Okay, so I am opening the src folder, and inside that Redux, and inside reducer I will create one index file. Okay, and that will the index reducer. All the reducer will be registered here. Then this reducer will be going to be stored in the store. Okay, this will be the store, and this is the reducer. And action we will do that when we will implement our onboarding screen. We will do that there. So here we will configure our reducer. So before configuring this, let's install the async storage. Okay, that will use by Redux Persist behind. So I am installing async storage, React Native community slash async storage. Okay, then I'm clicking enter. Then it will be install the React Native async storage. It will used by our application, so it will be used by the Redux Persist. So let it install, and let's start our developing things. So here I will import first the Redux Persist from Redux Persist. Okay, and there we will import persist combine reducer. Okay, it will combine all the reducer in one root reducer. Then we will use that in the store. So let's create one index file in the constants. I think we have forgotten to create the constants. If you have created, then you don't need to create it. Okay, so I have created one folder constants. Then there I will create one index file. Okay, here all the constants will be right here, and here I will write one packagation, and inside that I will give this to a name, alias name, and there I will write constants. Okay, fine. Then inside the index.js, then here in the constants I will export one thing. So here we will export some constant. Okay, like the base URL and the async storage key. Okay, so here we will export the async storage key. Okay, I am taking news of 001. Okay, you can change it. So the benefit of using async storage key is to when you are changing some things in the Redux. Okay, and you have to change this key to like 001 to 002. Okay, this will be do like when you are when the existing user will open the application, then it will be reload the async storage, and then there will be no authentication with the new key. Then it will again start the application. Okay, so here I will import the, so let's write this as constants from @constants. Okay, inside the constant folder we have taken one index file. So I'm writing constant, and we will use like constant.async key. Okay, then we will create one constant file for the configuration of the Redux Persist. Okay, so here I am giving one key, then key will be constants dot async storage key. Okay, copy that from here and paste here. Okay, make sure that you are saving each file. Okay, then we will add storage, and the storage will use behind is async storage. Okay, so I will import from here. You can see that async storage is installed successfully. Okay, now I'm closing this window terminal. Then I'm importing the async storage. Okay, async storage from the React Native async storage that we have installed. Then here I will put the async storage. Then inside that one blacklist will be used. Later we will use. Okay, I will explain that further what blacklist is. Then we will produce one app reducer. Okay, that will be used by our root reducer that we will create now after doing this. Then in the app reducer, we will combine all the reducer that are coming. Okay, it will take the config as the configuration. Okay, then here we will write all the reducer. Okay, like use all the reducer that will create, like for the news reducer, and for the authentication reducer. Okay, we will write here like the news, like this, the news reducer file will be used. Okay, then when we will access the data of news by using this news name, we can access. Okay, this is the state name, generally this is the state name. Okay, we will do that later. Then the root reducer, constant root reducer. Okay, this will be used by the Redux store. Then here it will take two parameters like state and action. Okay, you can do by using the action, you can do lots of things here, like after logout you want to erase all the state. Okay, you can do here, we will do that. Then here we will generally return the app reducer. Okay, by combining with state and action. Okay, that's it. Then at the end we will export this root reducer. Okay, that we will use in the store file. So export default root reducer. Okay, fine. So now let's create one middleware here that will be used by the Redux thunk. One thunk is there. Okay, let's rename this to middleware. Okay, so I am naming the middleware to API calls. Okay, you know API is when we are requesting the server, when we are making an HTTP request to the server, then it gives some promises. Okay, and it will be handled. Okay, this will be handled by the API calls middleware. Then it will send back the response. Okay, where we want to use. So now let's create a function that is constant promise middleware. Okay, fine. Then inside that we will return next. Okay, that will come from the API request. Okay, and here it will take the action. Okay, inside action. Okay, we will write like we will use one key like promise. Okay, when we will make API request, we will call like this, and the API call will be go like this. Okay, get news. Okay, then it will be written by the action. Okay, we will do that later, don't worry. Then here I will take one constant that is promise. Okay, and it will come from the action. Okay, then type and then the rest. Okay, action. Okay, this means that we have destructured promise type and the rest of the things from the action. And here if we don't have the promise, we will write and we will return the next action. Okay, if promise is not available, then we will return next. Next means it will come to the next API call. Okay, then we will take some constant like success. If API request will success, then the type will come. Okay, if you have used Redux before, like you have to take some constants like get news data. Okay, and you have to write this to request, and again you have to write something, and this is for the success if the data came, and you have to write for the error. Okay, so we are not going to do like this. This middleware will be handled. Okay, this middleware will attach these things. We will now do that. Okay, we don't need to dispatch everything, like in the functions. If you have did before, in the action you are dispatch like this, like you have to dispatch using the hooks or the, okay, like this, okay, like this, and this will take the type, and here this will take some payload. Okay, we are not going to do this. Okay, this middleware will be handle all the things. It will attach the success. If the API call will success, then it will give the success data, the response back. Okay, then it will be, if it is making the request, then it will give the request rest data. Okay, then if failure, then it will be back the failure, the error response. Okay, so here I am attaching the success. Okay, then request. Okay, then I am attaching here request. Okay, then constant for the failure we will do like that also. Okay, here we will give failure. Okay, then here we will proceed to next by giving the rest of the action data. Okay, rest and type is request. Okay, request. So this will do like when we are requesting API, then this will be returned. Okay, for the API response we will send the API data. Okay, for that we need to return the data from the promise. So I'm writing promise dot then, and inside that we will get the response. Okay, inside that we will send the response to the reducer. Okay, like rest. Okay, rest means the rest state. Okay, then response. Okay, we will access the data by using the response. Okay, we will do that later, don't worry, just do that what I am doing. Okay, the middleware will be constant. Okay, if you don't, if you are not getting it, I will explain that later. Then here we will attach the response that is coming from here. Okay, and then type. So by using this we don't need to use the async await, or if you are making some API request like this, like axios.get, and you are doing like this. Okay, like to then, and in then this will get the response. Okay, we are not going to do this. The promise middleware will be handle this. Okay, here we are getting the response, and after getting the response we are sending this to the reducer, then we will return true. Okay, then if you are getting some issues, we will catch it by using the catch. Then here I will attach the error, and inside that I will send the error data. Okay, so this will take as error, don't need to send this, it will send the error. Okay, this is like as key like this. Okay, so here we will change that to failure. Okay, then return false. Okay, then at the last, okay, end that by semicolons. After that we will export this promise middleware, and we will use that in the store. Okay, the store will attach to every API request, and the keyword promise we will use in every API request. Okay, here we have written the middleware that will handle the request and success failure. Okay, if request is going, this will be forward, this will be back, and if success response is came, then response will be back to the reducer, and if error is coming, then error will be back. Okay, Fine. So this is the middleware. Then we will work on the store part. Okay, so mistakenly I have written the reducer things in the store, so I will cut all the codes to the reducer. Okay, fine. Then in the index, just let's close this. Okay, in the index this will be the store file. Now here we will import create store, compose and apply middleware from Redux. Okay, we have installed it already. Then from that we will use one thing, that is create store, that to create the store, and to compose. Okay, compose is to add, use some middleware. Inside that we will apply middleware and also middleware. Okay, these things will be used for to apply the middleware, these two things. Okay, then we will also import the thunk from the Redux thunk. Okay, that will handle the middleware. Thunk will do the work behind it, will make the API request and the send the response back to the user. Okay, instead of sending the action, it will send the data. Okay, if we will not use thunk, then the action will be sent. So thunk will process the action and send the response back to the user. Okay, so here we will import the middleware, that is the API middleware. Okay, fine. From middlewares. Okay, and slash API calls. Okay, that is the middleware we will apply there, and we will import the root reducer from here. Okay, import root reducer from @reducer. We have used alias here, reducer. Okay, so we will use like this, reducer, and this will refer to the index file, this one. Then let's take one variable, let middleware is equal to thunk. This will be our middleware thunk, and let's put here API middleware. Okay, these middlewares, so rename this to promise middleware. Okay, and delete this one. Okay, fine. So we will use this middleware. We have attached together thunk and promise middleware in an array. Then we will create the Redux store. Okay, this will be the store where all the reducers and the middleware will be attached together, and it will create the store, create store. Okay, then here we will add the root reducer, and by using the compose we will use the middleware, apply middleware, and the middlewares will be the middleware array. Okay, everything that inside the middleware array. Okay, fine. Then after that we will export the Redux storage. Okay, export default Redux storage. Fine. So we have created the store, and we have created the reducer and the middleware. Okay, in the middleware, that the promise middleware is coming, that will handle the promise data, like this will extract the response and error response back. Okay, then we have attached with the thunk. Okay, then we have created the Redux storage, that is the Redux store. Change this to Redux store. Okay, store, and export this Redux store. Okay, fine, not an issue. Then here we are composing the middlewares and added the root reducer. Okay, this means that our root reducer is created. Okay, so now let's attach these things to our root application. Okay, that is our app.js. Here we will do that, we will attach the store to the app.js file, and inside, after attaching the app.js file, we will able to access the store everywhere. Okay, so let me attach here. So here I will import some things, like the one is provider that will attach here in the root, and one Redux store that will use the Redux persist, okay, and one persist get that will come from the Redux persist to use the Redux persist. And here I will import from React Redux. Here I will add provider and then import from Redux persist store, okay, and one persist get. For to persist the data, I will import from React Redux persist, okay, and then we will use integration, and from the React the persist get will become, okay. So writing here persist get, okay. I have imported all the necessary things, and one more, that is Redux store, okay, fine. So here I will wrap everything, okay, like inside provider I will use the store, that is Redux store, okay. We have attached the store to the provider, okay. Then inside the provider we will use the persist get, and here we will use persister, okay. I will add some persister data here. So let's persist the store by exporting the constant. We will export this because this need to be used in another screen, okay. So I'm exporting here Redux persist store, okay, fine. And here I will persist the store by persist store, and I will add the Redux store, okay. By using this, our store is persisted. Then we will add here the Redux persist store, okay, fine. And we will close that. We will use one loading props here, okay. When this persist store will load, we will show one loader there, and inside that we will add the root navigation as we have did before, okay. So the app.js is now wrapped with the Redux, okay, and the Redux persist. And in the reducer index file, here I have a type mistake, okay. Change this to storage, okay. So let's run this application, okay. So I am opening the terminal, and here before running the application we will go to the under directory and clean the Gradle, this one. And so to clean the Gradle we will use /Gradle w clean, okay, fine. It will clean the Gradle. Also you can delete this folder. Then we will build again, we will run again the application, because we have changed a lot of things in iOS. Also in the previous video I changed, okay. So cleaning will be resolve the conflicts. So now you can see that build successful, okay. Our project is cleaned. Now I am going out of the Android directory, okay, and let me clear this. And here we will run our application by React Native run Android, okay. If you are not getting the Redux part, okay, then it will be okay, don't worry. We will slowly learn this. After updating some state and using some state, you will be clear, okay, don't worry. Just do that whatever I am doing, and if you are getting some issues, then please write down in the comment box. Now you can see that our application is installing, and now it is installed successfully, okay. This one in my device it is running, okay. So this is showing an error that is store doesn't have a valid reducer. Okay, we haven't added any reducer here. Okay, that's why it's showing the warning. Then everything working as expected. Okay, in the next video we will build an onboarding screen that will be display only when the user installing the app first time. Okay, then after we will disable that. Okay, we are not going to display by updating the state. Okay, and please don't forget to subscribe my channel. So let's see in the next video. Thank you for watching.